is Natasha Roberts-Crichlow. I teach Office Administration and Electronic Document Preparation Management at Southeast Port of Spain Secondary School. Today, I'm going to do a simulation of my final teaching practice with my Form 5 Office Administration class. The class comprises of 6 male and 9 female students whose ages range from 16 to 18 years old. 80% of those students are Afro-Trinidadians, 13% are mixed, and 7% is of East Indian heritage. Most of these students come from low to middle income households, with one of the female students being a single mother. They all come from various socio-economic backgrounds, which has influenced both positively and negatively on how these students learn. In terms of their academic performance, approximately 66% of the female students scores above 50% during the end of term exams, as compared to 33% of the male students averaging the same. Although they display a willingness to learn, their lack of motivation and critical thinking skills has impacted their overall academic achievements. In order to improve their academic performance, I have been using cooperative learning strategies that encourages more critical thinking. So, in today's class, I will be demonstrating some of these strategies in hopes that it will help develop and improve my students' performance. Okay, welcome back class. Good morning and welcome back class. So, today we are continuing under the topic area of accounts and financial services. So far we've done the function of the accounts office. We've also done the duties of the accounts clerk, right? And under those duties of the accounts clerk, we've been looking at now the different documents that the accounts clerk has to prepare. So far over the last month or so, we did payroll already. We did types of checks. We did statement of accounts, right? We did currency memorandum, right? And so now we're moving on to another area in terms of documents that the accounts clerk prepares. So before I give you the topic of what we're going to be discussing, let me just show you this little skit, and then we get our class started from there. Right. So the question was asked at the end of this: what can island traders do to solve the situation? So we know that there was an issue. Can anyone tell me what was the issue that they saw with this skit? Tajay. Yes, so we saw that the invoice had a problem, right? There was an error on the invoice. So most invoice has this term written on it, which is called E and OE. We would have covered this term in sales and marketing. Let's see, what does E and OE stands for? What does E and OE stands for? Shaniqua? Can't remember. All right, Ryan, you want to help her? You can't remember either. All right, well, let me refresh your memory. So E and OE stands for errors and omission expected. errors and omission expected. So that in some invoices you may get errors in invoices. So in order to remedy and to rectify that issue, we have in companies prepare a document which we're going to be discussing today's class now, and the document is called a debit and credit note. So that's what we're going to be discussing today's class. The next document that the council has to prepare is what we refer to as a debit and a credit note. Okay, so let's get started. For today's class. So in today's class, what we're going to be discussing is, so we're going to describe what is a debit and credit note. We are also going to explain the circumstances where a debit and credit note would be used, and we're going to identify some key elements of information on a debit and a credit note. Okay? So as we were saying before, the term that we just looked at before stands for, EO&E stands for, as we said, error and omissions expected. And it is an invoice which indicates that mistakes are sometimes made when you prepare an invoice. So in order, as we said before, to rectify that situation, we prepare what we refer to as a debit and a credit note. So question to you all is, what do you think is a debit note and a credit note? So I want you to think about the answer. Right? Think about the answer. What do you think is a debit note and a credit note? And I want you, when you think about your answer, turn to the person next to you and you all share and discuss. Then I'm going to randomly call on someone to give me the answer. So think about it now. So here's what we're going to be doing now. So we're going to do a little activity where I'm handing for you all to get into groups. So there are 12 of you all. So we're going to create 3 groups of 4 students, right? So I want one group here. So come on, move, let's get together. So I want one group here. I want another group here of 4 students. And another group here for another 4 students, okay? So let's move, everybody. Right, one group here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Another group here, 2, 3, 4. Don't quarrel, please. Don't worry about who's in your group. Just get to your group, please. Thank you. And another group here. Okay, very good. Right. So this group. So I have Tajir. So you'll be number 1. Ruth, you're number 1 in this group. And Zinobe, you're number 1 in this group. Okay. Next to you, we have Shuniqua, right? So you're number 2. Akil, you're number 2. And Jadil, you're number 2. Okay? Rebecca wrong. Next person, next to you, right? You're number 3. You're number 3, and you're number 3, and the last person will be number 4. Right? So each person in each group has a number. Remember, that is your number, okay? So whenever I have to call on you, when I call on that particular number, you're the one who's going to be able to respond to the question. So here's what you all are going to be doing in your groups now, okay? On the screen, you see I have a debit note and a credit note, okay? Right? So here's what I want you all to do in your groups. As a group, I want you all to identify for me, firstly, the similarities between the 2 documents. What do you see as similar in the documents, in the debit and the credit note? What are the similarities that you can identify in the documents? And then secondly, I want you all to identify for me now the differences. What are the differences that you observe between these 2 documents? So you all have 5 minutes to accomplish this. 5 minutes, okay? Identify the 2 things you're going to do. Identify the similarities between the 2 documents and identify the differences between the 2 documents. You will have 5 minutes starting now. Right? Starting now. Right, students? Time is up. So here's how it's going to be working. I'm going to be calling on the group. So this is group number 1. This is group number 2, and this is group number 3. So I'm going to first call the group number, and then the number that I call afterwards would be the person who has that number. So we know each person in the group has number 1 to number 4, right? So let's start. So I'm calling on. So the first number is number 2, right? So that's group 2. So group 2. Get ready. So group 2 would have to be responding to me now. And the person in group 2, the number in group 2 that I want responding is number 3. Good. So group number 2, number 3. Question, right? As you all have discussed, tell me, when you all discuss together, what is one of the similarities that you all saw, that you all discussed when you saw between these 2 documents? Tell me one of the similarities that you all as a group discussed between these 2 documents. Let's hear it. You said that both of them have the date. Okay, so you see similarities. You said it's the date. Alright. They both have a date. Okay. Alright, good. Thank you very much, group 2. Right, next group that I'm calling on is group number 3. Right, group number 3. Right, so that's you all. Yes, you all, group number 3. And the number, let's see. Done group 2 already. So let's do number 1. Right. So group number 3, and the person who has to respond would be number 1. Number 1. What is another similarity that you all as a group came up with? They said the address. Alright, okay. Yes. So we have address. Right, address. Right? And so we have one group left, which is group number 1. Right, so group number 1. So let's call on number 1 and number 1. Right, so group number one. What is something that you see as similarities between the two documents? What do you see as similarities between the documents? They all have a debit number, alright? So you see they have a debit number. Right? Well, remember it's two documents, so you have, one might have a debit number and a credit number, right? Yes, so you mean debit number and a credit number. Alright, good. Debit number and a credit number, very good. Alright, so we took three, right? So let's look at differences now. Let's see if anyone came up with any differences. So let's see. So I'm calling on the group first. Let's do group number 3. Yes, Ollie again. I like Ollie plenty, you know. So group number 3, right? So group number 3. And number 4 in group number 3. Number 4 in group number 3, right? What do you think is our difference? What differences you see with it? What differences do you see in it? Ollie couldn't find no differences. Really? Look at it again. You can't find no differences? So I couldn't come up with any differences at all. The entire group. Alright? Alright, so let me go to our next group. So I have as right inside front here, group number 2. So, number 4 in group number 2. Did you all see any differences at all? What you saw? Oh, very good. Yes. Very important difference. So you see one is typed in black. Right? And the other one is typed in red. Correct. Very good observation. Very good observation. Right? So let's look at what are the differences. Let me just add to what we all discussed that. And let's see the differences and similarities between these two documents. So let's go. Let's see what I have. Right, so similarities. So somebody said the date, so that is correct. They both have this date. They both have name and address. You said address, but nobody said the name. I don't know if the other group may have had the name. Oh yes, you had the name. Okay, no problem. Very good. So you had the name. Then we had quantity of the items. It's similar. Both of them have quantity of items. Right, the price of the item. Yeah, I think you all had that. Group 1. Oh, very good. Nice. So price of the item. Very good. Description of the items. Nobody had that one. Right, description of the items, right? So yes, so description of the items is another similarity. Then we have the total amount is another similarity as well. Both of them have total amounts in it. Yes? All right. So the differences, and we saw group 2 came up with it. That is correct. So the credit note is printed in red, right? And the debit note is printed in black. And those, right, as well as another difference is the information in the description. So although they both have description of items, right, both of them have description, but they would have a different description for what it is, because one is a debit note, one is a credit note, so they'll have a different description of the information contained in it. Okay, right? So let's do a quick review. So we've done that. So let's do a quick review of what we've covered so far. So again, I'm going to ask the question. Give you time to think about the answer, right? And then I'll call on someone to respond. So question. Name 5 items that are included in the layout of the credit or debit note. Oh, I seen hands up. But I mean, all right. Name 5 items that are included in the layout of the debit note and the credit notes. And Nicolan, let me get a response. Nicolan, right? We have so you said date, right? Address, total, right? Quantity, right? Yes. Oh, very good. Good job. Very good. Thank you very much. Next question. What is the main distinguishing feature between the debit note and the credit note? What is the main distinguishing feature on the debit note and the credit note? Who can remember? What is the distinguishing feature between debit note and the credit note? Aha, right. My boy there, Jaleel. See your hands up. So very good. So let me hear your answer. Answer is? Right, that is correct. One is typed in red and one is typed in black. So let me hear Ryan. Which one is in red and which one is in black? Ryan, which one is in red, which one is in black? Red is the red is the credit note and the black is the debit note. Very good, students. Very good. You all really were paying attention to what was going on in the class. So very good. Alright, so class is almost over. So let's do a quick review of what we've done for today's class. So share with me, what have you all learned today? Rachel, want to share with us? Right, you learned what is a debit note and what is a credit note. Right, okay, very good. Ruth, let me hear you. That a debit note is typed in black, credit note is typed in red. Well, yeah, because it's only bold, yes, that's okay, that's fine. Right, what is again? Zenobia, yes. That a debit note is when you need to fix errors on an invoice. That is correct. Very good. Alright, thank you also very much. Well, our time is almost over. So what I'm gonna give you all now is your evaluation. The bell is gonna call on advice. So if we don't finish it before the bell is called, we will do it. You all will do it for me as homework and bring it back for me tomorrow's class. Okay? Alright, so you all, let's do the work now, and you all have a good and enjoyable day. Alright, thank you.